The house was supposed to be filled with light and laughter. Instead, Simone Brooks stood in her dark living room at 9 o'clock on her 38th birthday, staring at a wine-stained glass on the coffee table. Lipstick marked the rim. A deep burgundy shade she never wore. Her hands trembled as she set down her suitcase. The business conference in Atlanta had ended a day early, and she'd rushed home to surprise Gregory. She'd imagined his face when she walked through the door. Maybe they'd order takeout from that Italian place she loved. Maybe they'd watch a movie on the couch. Instead, she was standing in silence, looking at evidence that someone else had been sitting where she should have been. A small silver earring caught the lamplight near the couch cushion. Simone picked it up with 2 fingers like it might burn her. It wasn't hers. She knew every piece of jewelry she owned. Her phone buzzed in her purse, but she ignored it. Her heart pounded so hard she could feel it in her throat. The smell of perfume still lingered in the air. Something floral and young. Nothing like the classic scents she preferred. Simone walked through the house room by room. The kitchen was clean. The bedroom looked untouched. But here in the living room, where she and Gregory had spent 15 years building a life together, someone else had left their mark. She sat down on the armchair across from the couch. Not on the couch. Never on the couch again. Her phone buzzed again. This time she pulled it out. 3 missed calls from Gregory. 2 text messages. Still at the office. Don't wait up. Love you. The words made her stomach turn. She looked at the timestamp. He'd sent those texts at 7. 2 hours ago. The wine glass was still wet. Simone heard keys in the front door. She didn't move. Didn't turn on more lights. Just sat there in the dim glow of the single lamp, holding a stranger's earring in her palm. Gregory walked in, humming something under his breath. He stopped when he saw her. Simone? Baby, what are you doing sitting in the dark? I thought you weren't coming home until tomorrow. His voice was light, casual. The voice of a man who thought his secret was safe. I finished early, she said quietly. Her voice sounded strange to her own ears. Calm. Too calm. Thought I'd surprise you for my birthday? She watched his face in the shadows. Watched the moment he noticed the wine glasses. The moment he understood. I can explain that. Can you explain this too? She held up the earring. Gregory's face went pale. Even in the dim light she could see it. The color draining away. The quick calculation happening behind his eyes. It's not what you think. Simone stood up slowly. Her legs felt strange, like they belonged to someone else. What do I think, Gregory? Tell me what I think. Let me just. He took a step toward her. Stop. The word came out sharp. Don't come any closer. They stood there 10 feet apart in the house they'd bought together 7 years ago. The house where they'd celebrated promotions and holidays. Where they'd talked about growing old together. Who is she? Simone asked. Gregory ran his hand over his face. A gesture she'd seen 1,000 times when he was stressed about a case at work. But this wasn't work stress. This was guilt. It just happened, he started. Oh. She. He looked at the floor. It doesn't matter. It's over. I'll end it. Simone laughed, but there was no humor in it. You'll end it? Like it's a business deal? Like it's something you can just file away and forget about? Simone, please. Can we talk about this tomorrow? You just got home. You must be tired. I am tired, she agreed. So tired. Tired of wondering why you've been working late so many nights. Tired of making excuses for why you forgot our anniversary dinner last month. Tired of feeling like I'm competing for my own husband's attention. You're not competing with anyone. Then who were you with tonight, Gregory? On my birthday. While I was rushing home to surprise you, who were you with? He was quiet for a long moment. Too long. Get out, Simone said. What? Get out of this house. Right now. Simone, be reasonable. This is my house too. Then I'll leave. She moved toward the stairs. Gregory's phone buzzed in his pocket. Once. Twice. 3 times in rapid succession. Aren't you going to check that? Simone asked. Might be important. His hand went to his pocket but didn't pull out the phone. The buzzing stopped. Then it started again. This time it didn't stop. Someone was calling. Answer it, Simone said. I want to know who's so desperate to reach you at 9:30 on a Tuesday night. Simone. Answer the phone, Gregory. His jaw tightened. Slowly he pulled out his phone. His eyes scanned the screen. Whatever he saw there made him close his eyes briefly. It's no one, he said. Show me. I don't think that's a good idea. Simone crossed the distance between them in 4 quick steps. She grabbed the phone from his hand before he could react. The screen was still lit up. 15 missed calls. 23 text messages. All from a contact saved as A. The most recent text was visible on the lock screen. Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again. Your mom just left. Coast is clear if you want to come back. Miss you already. Simone read it twice. 3 times. The words didn't change. She looked up at Gregory. Really looked at him. This man she'd loved since she was 23. This man she'd built a life with. This man who'd promised to honor her. Who is, she asked. The look on his face told her everything. This wasn't a random woman. This wasn't just some affair. This was someone she knew. Someone who knew his mother. Someone who felt comfortable enough to text him about Diane leaving. Gregory. Who is A? He opened his mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. It's Aaliyah, he finally whispered. The room tilted. Simone grabbed the back of the couch to steady herself. Aaliyah. Jordan's girlfriend. The sweet 24-year-old girl who came to family dinners. Who called her Mrs. Brooks and brought homemade cookies. Who'd been dating their son for 2 years. You're lying, Simone breathed. But she knew he wasn't. She could see the truth written all over his face. The shame. The guilt. The pathetic hope that maybe she'd somehow forgive this. Simone set his phone down on the coffee table next to the wine glass with another woman's lipstick. Next to the earring that probably belonged to a girl young enough to be his daughter. I want you out of this house in 30 minutes, she said. Her voice was steady now. Cool. Take whatever you can fit in a suitcase. I'll have the rest sent wherever you end up. Simone, please. Let me explain. 30 minutes. Or I call the police and tell them there's an intruder in my home. She walked past him to the stairs. Her legs carried her up to their bedroom. There. It wasn't there anything anymore. In the bathroom she finally let herself feel it. The betrayal. The humiliation. The shattering of everything she thought she knew. But she didn't cry. Not yet. There would be time for tears later. Right now she needed to be strong. Because this wasn't just about a cheating husband anymore. This was about her son's girlfriend. About a girl who'd sat at her table and smiled at her while sleeping with her father. This was war. And Simone Brooks had never lost a battle she decided to fight. Morning came too bright through the bedroom windows. Simone hadn't slept. She'd sat in the chair by the window all night, watching the sky change from black to gray to pale blue. Watching Gregory's car pull out of the driveway at 11:45 the night before. Watching the house across the street wake up, lights turning on in normal homes where normal people lived normal lives. Her phone had 17 missed calls. Most from Gregory. 3 from his mother. 1 from Angela, her best friend, probably returning the text Simone had sent at 2 in the morning. Need a lawyer. Call me when you can. At 7:30 she heard the front door open downstairs. Heavy footsteps. Gregory hadn't left for good last night. Of course he hadn't. He still thought this was something they could work through. Simone stood and looked at herself in the bathroom mirror. Her eyes were red but dry. Her blue silk blouse from yesterday was wrinkled. Her hair needed attention. But she looked stronger than she felt, and that would have to be enough. She found Gregory in the kitchen making coffee like nothing had changed. We need to talk, he said when he saw her. Yes, Simone agreed. She sat down at the kitchen table. The same table where Aaliyah had helped her make Thanksgiving dinner last year. The memory made her feel sick. Gregory brought 2 mugs to the table. He sat down across from her with the careful movements of a man approaching a dangerous animal. I know you're angry, he started. Angry is what you feel when someone cuts you off in traffic, Simone interrupted. This isn't anger. This is something else entirely. He wrapped his hands around his mug. It wasn't supposed to happen. But it did happen. With our son's girlfriend. A girl 24 years old. A girl who's been in our home at our table, part of our family. Each word came out sharp and clear. I know how it looks. How it looks? Gregory, our son loves that girl. He's talked about marrying her someday. And you. She stopped. Took a breath. How long? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. How long have you been sleeping with Aaliyah? He stared into his coffee. 6 months. 6 months. Half a year of lies. Half a year of watching her son fall deeper in love with a girl who was betraying him. Half a year of being the fool who didn't see what was happening in her own marriage. Where? Simone asked. What? Where did you meet her? Where did this start? Gregory shifted in his chair. She came to my office one day. She wanted advice about a legal issue her roommate was having. We started talking. She kept coming back. And you let her. You encouraged it. It wasn't like that at first. I was just helping her. At what point did helping her turn into whatever this is? He didn't answer. Does Jordan know? Simone asked. God, no. Simone, you can't tell him. Please. It would destroy him. It would destroy him? Her voice rose despite her best efforts to stay calm. You didn't think about that before you started this? You didn't think about your son while you were with his girlfriend? I wasn't thinking clearly. She made me feel, I don't know, young, alive. Like I mattered. You have a wife. You have a son. You have a life that matters. Or at least you did. Gregory leaned forward. We can fix this. I'll end things with Aaliyah completely. We can go to counseling. Start over. Start over? Simone stood up. The chair scraped against the floor. You think there's any universe where I take you back after this? You think I'm going to forgive you for sleeping with a girl young enough to be your daughter? Our son's girlfriend? People work through affairs all the time. This isn't an affair. This is a betrayal so deep I don't even have words for it. You didn't just cheat on me. You destroyed your relationship with your son. You corrupted a girl who trusted you. You turned our home into a place I can't feel safe anymore. I made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. This is a choice. Multiple choices. Every single time you met her, every time you lied to me, every time you looked Jordan in the eye knowing what you were doing behind his back. Those were all choices. Gregory's face crumpled. I love you. I never stopped loving you. Love isn't just a feeling. It's actions. It's choices. And every choice you made for the past 6 months told me exactly how much you love me. Her phone buzzed on the table. Angela's name appeared on the screen. I have to take this, Simone said. She walked out to the back porch, sliding the door shut behind her. Simone? What's going on? Angela's voice was sharp with concern. Gregory's been having an affair. With Aaliyah. Jordan's girlfriend. Silence on the other end. Then, I'm coming over. Don't sign anything. Don't agree to anything. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Thank you, Simone whispered. Are you okay? Stupid question. Of course you're not okay. But are you safe? Do you need me to call someone? I'm safe. Just, please hurry. After she hung up, Simone stood on the porch for a long moment. The morning was beautiful. Birds singing. Neighbors walking dogs. The world continuing like nothing had changed. But everything had changed. She went back inside. Gregory was still at the table, his coffee untouched. I called a lawyer, Simone said. Angela Pierce. You know her. Simone, please don't do this. We can work it out. There's nothing to work out. I want a divorce. I want you out of this house. And I want you to stay away from me. What about Jordan? He's supposed to come home next month when his program ends. I'll tell him the truth. All of it. Gregory stood up fast enough that his chair tipped backward. You can't do that. It'll ruin his relationship with me. You ruined that relationship yourself. I'm just delivering the news. He doesn't need to know the details. We can just say we grew apart. Simone laughed, bitter and sharp. Grew apart? You want me to lie to protect you? To protect her? After what you've done. I'm thinking about Jordan. About what's best for him. If you cared about what's best for Jordan, you never would have touched his girlfriend. You would have thought about him for 1 second before you destroyed his trust. But you didn't. So now he gets to know the truth. He deserves that much. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. There's a difference. The doorbell rang. Angela was early. Simone went to answer it, leaving Gregory in the kitchen. When she opened the door, Angela took one look at her face and pulled her into a hug. We're going to handle this, Angela said. We're going to make sure you get everything you deserve. And he's going to regret the day he decided to throw away his family. Simone nodded against her friend's shoulder. I don't want to be in the same house as him anymore. Then pack a bag. Come stay with me for a few days while we sort out the legal side. He can have the house for now. But trust me, by the time I'm done, he'll be lucky if he gets to keep his car. For the first time since finding that lipstick-stained glass, Simone felt something other than numb shock. She felt determination. Gregory had made his choices. Now she would make hers. And unlike him, she would make sure she could live with the consequences. 3 days later, Simone was in Angela's guest room when she heard the commotion downstairs. Raised voices. Angela's firm tone saying something about, not a good time, and another voice she recognized immediately. Diane Brooks had arrived. Simone closed her eyes and took a deep breath. Gregory's mother had always been protective of her son. Too protective. She defended him when he was wrong, made excuses for his behavior, blamed others for his mistakes. This would be no different. I don't care if it's a good time, Diane's voice carried up the stairs. I need to see my daughter-in-law right now. Simone walked down to find Diane standing in Angela's living room, her purse clutched tight in both hands. She wore a navy dress and pearls. Still put together even in crisis. Diane, Simone said quietly. The older woman turned. Her eyes were red. Simone. Thank goodness. We need to talk about this terrible misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? Simone felt Angela tense beside her. Gregory told me everything. He made a mistake, yes, but he loves you. He wants to make this right. You can't just throw away 15 years of marriage over one mistake. One mistake that lasted 6 months, Simone said. With our son's girlfriend. Diane waved her hand dismissively. That girl is irrelevant. She probably threw herself at him. Men are weak when young women flutter their eyelashes. Gregory is 40 years old. He's not a child who can't control himself. He's under a lot of stress at work. The pressure of providing for this family. Sometimes men need understanding, not punishment. Angela stepped forward. Mrs. Brooks, I think you should leave. This is between family, Diane snapped. You're just a friend trying to stir up trouble. I'm her attorney, Angela corrected. And you're interfering in a legal matter. Diane turned back to Simone. Is that really what you want? To air our family's private business in court? To humiliate Gregory publicly? To hurt your son by destroying his family? I didn't destroy anything. Your son did that all by himself. You're being dramatic. Marriages go through rough patches. You work through them. That's what commitment means. Simone felt something snap inside her. Commitment? You want to talk to me about commitment? I committed to Gregory for 15 years. I supported him through law school. I moved 3 times for his career. I put my own promotions on hold to make sure Jordan had stability. Where was his commitment when he was with Aaliyah? He made one mistake. Stop calling it that. It's not a mistake. It's a betrayal. It's a choice he made over and over and over again for 6 months. Every time he lied to me. Every time he looked at our son and said nothing. Every time he brought that girl into our home knowing what he'd done with her. Diane's face hardened. Fine. You want to be bitter and unforgiving. But think about Jordan. Think about what you're doing to him. He needs his father. He needs his family intact. He needs to know the truth. He needs to understand that some things can't be forgiven just because it's easier to pretend they didn't happen. You're going to tell him? Diane looked horrified. About Aaliyah? Yes. That's cruel. That's vindictive. You're doing that to hurt Gregory, not to help Jordan. I'm doing it because Jordan deserves honesty. He deserves to know who his father really is. And he deserves to know that his girlfriend betrayed him just as much as his father betrayed me. He loves that girl. Finding this out will devastate him. And whose fault is that? Simone asked. Who put Jordan in this position? Not me. I didn't sleep with my son's girlfriend. I didn't lie for 6 months. I didn't create this situation. Diane's hands trembled on her purse. If you do this, if you destroy Gregory's relationship with his son, I will never forgive you. I don't need your forgiveness. I need you to leave. Simone, please. Think about what you're throwing away. Gregory is a good man who made one mistake. He has a good job, a good reputation. You'll never do better than him. The words hung in the air like poison. Get out, Simone said quietly. What? Get out of this house right now. And don't come back. Diane drew herself up. You're making the biggest mistake of your life. No. The biggest mistake of my life was not seeing who your son really was sooner. Now I want you to leave. You'll regret this. When you're alone and miserable, you'll wish you'd been smart enough to forgive him. Angela stepped between them. Mrs. Brooks, you need to go. Now. For a moment it looked like Diane might argue. Then she straightened her shoulders, turned and walked to the door. She paused with her hand on the doorknob. I raised my son better than this. He deserves another chance. Maybe you should ask yourself why your son thought it was okay to have an affair with a girl his son's age, Simone said. Maybe you should wonder if always defending him, always making excuses, always blaming everyone else taught him that he could do whatever he wanted without consequences. Diane's face went pale. Then red. She opened her mouth, closed it, and walked out without another word. The door clicked shut behind her. Simone's knees went weak. Angela caught her elbow and guided her to the couch. That woman is unbelievable, Angela muttered. Blaming you for his affair. Acting like you're the problem. She's always been like that. Gregory could do no wrong. Everyone else was always the issue. Simone put her head in her hands. I can't believe I let her treat me that way for 15 years. You were trying to keep the peace. To be a good daughter-in-law. That's not weakness. It feels like weakness now. It's not. But you know what would be weakness? Taking him back because his mother pressured you. Lying to Jordan to protect Gregory's feelings. Pretending this didn't happen because it's uncomfortable and hard. Simone looked up. I'm not taking him back. Good. Even if everyone thinks I should. Even if his mother hates me forever. Even if it makes everything harder. I'm not doing it. That's my girl. Angela sat down beside her. Now, we need to talk about the divorce proceedings. Gregory's attorney reached out. They want to mediate. Already? They know they're in a weak position. An affair with someone that young, someone connected to the family. A judge won't look kindly on that. They want to settle quickly and quietly. What do they want? 50-50 split of assets. Joint custody of any shared properties. Minimal alimony. Simone laughed. Actually laughed. After what he did, he wants half of everything. He wants me to make this easy for him? That's what they're asking for. But that's not what they're going to get. Angela's smile was sharp. By the time we're done, Gregory Brooks is going to understand exactly what it costs to betray your family. I want the house, Simone said. I want him to feel what it's like to lose his home. Done. And I want enough alimony that he remembers every month what he gave up. Also done. And I want it all in writing that he pursued Aaliyah. That he knew she was Jordan's girlfriend. That he did this deliberately, knowing exactly who she was. Angela pulled out her tablet. I'll make sure every detail is documented. Every text message. Every lie. Every time he chose her over you. When we're done, there won't be any room for him to claim this was anything other than what it was. Simone leaned back against the couch. Is it wrong that I want him to suffer? After what he did? No. It's human. I don't want revenge. I want him to understand. To feel even a fraction of what I'm feeling. He will, Angela promised. Men like Gregory think they can have everything. The devoted wife, the stable home, the secret girlfriend. They think they're smart enough to keep all the pieces separate. And when it falls apart, they think they can apologize and have it all back. We're going to show him exactly how wrong he is. Simone's phone buzzed. A text from Nina, her sister, heard about Diane showing up. You okay? Need me to come over? She typed back, I'm okay. Angela's here. Talk later? Call me tonight. Love you. Simone put the phone down. I need to call Jordan soon. Before he hears about this from someone else. He's still in London for another 3 weeks, right? Yes. His study abroad program ends at the beginning of next month. Maybe wait until he's home. This isn't a phone conversation. Simone considered that. What if someone tells him? What if Diane calls him or Gregory? We can ask Gregory not to contact Jordan until you've had a chance to talk to him face to face. Put it in the separation agreement. Will he agree to that? If he wants this divorce to go smoothly, he will. Otherwise, we make everything public. Every detail. Every text message. And we let a judge decide how to split things up while the whole city watches. Simone nodded. Okay. We do this the right way. We document everything, we go through the legal process, and we make sure Jordan hears it from me first. And in the meantime? In the meantime, I figure out how to rebuild my life without the man I thought I'd spend forever with. Angela squeezed her hand. You're stronger than you think. Stronger than he ever gave you credit for. I don't feel strong. You stood up to his mother. You're not backing down even though it would be easier. You're protecting your son even though it's going to hurt him. That's strength. Simone wanted to believe her. But right now, sitting in someone else's house because she couldn't bear to be in her own home, she felt anything but strong. She felt broken. But maybe, she thought, broken things could be put back together differently. Better. Stronger at the places where they'd cracked. Maybe this wasn't an ending. Maybe it was just a very painful beginning. Jordan Brooks landed at Charleston International Airport 3 weeks earlier than planned. His mother's voice on the phone 2 days ago had said everything was fine, but something in her tone told him to come home. He'd made an excuse to his program director about a family emergency and booked the first flight out. Now, standing in the arrivals terminal with his backpack and suitcase, he felt a knot of anxiety in his stomach. His phone showed 5 missed calls from his father and 2 from his grandmother. But none from Aaliyah, which was strange. They usually texted every day. He called his mother. Hey, I just landed. Are you at Angela's house? Jordan? You're here? I thought you weren't coming back for another 3 weeks. I knew something was wrong. I'm coming over. Silence on the other end. Then, okay. I'll be here. The drive to Angela's house took 40 minutes. Jordan used the time to try Aaliyah's number. It went straight to voicemail. He tried again. Same thing. When he pulled up to Angela's house, his mother was waiting on the front porch. She looked smaller than he remembered. Thinner. Her face was drawn, like she hadn't been sleeping. Mom? He dropped his bag and hugged her tight. What happened? Are you sick? No, baby. I'm not sick. But we need to talk. Come inside. They sat in Angela's living room. His mother poured water from a pitcher with shaking hands. Whatever it is, just tell me, Jordan said. You're scaring me. Simone set down her glass and looked at her son. Really looked at him. 21 years old. Still had his father's eyes. Still believed the best in people. This conversation was going to change that. Your father and I are getting divorced, she said simply. Jordan blinked. What happened? He had an affair. No way. Dad would never. You guys have been together forever. There has to be some mistake. There's no mistake. I found out 3 weeks ago. The day of my birthday. Jordan's face went pale. An affair? With who? This was the part that would hurt. The part Simone had been dreading since she decided to tell him the truth. Jordan, there's more. And it's going to be hard to hear. Just tell me. The woman your father was seeing? It's Aaliyah. The words hung between them. Jordan stared at his mother like she was speaking a foreign language. That's not funny, he said finally. I'm not joking. Aaliyah? My Aaliyah? That's impossible. You're confused. It has to be someone else. It's her, Jordan. Your father admitted it. He's been seeing her for 6 months. Jordan stood up fast. The coffee table knocked against his shin. You're lying. This is some kind of sick joke. Dad wouldn't do that. And Aaliyah, she loves me. We've been talking about moving in together after graduation. I'm so sorry. No, I don't believe you. Where's Dad? I need to talk to Dad. He's staying with your grandmother. Jordan grabbed his phone and dialed. His father answered on the second ring. Jordan? Son, where are you? Is it true? Jordan's voice cracked. Tell me Mom's lying. Tell me you didn't sleep with Aaliyah. Silence. Then Gregory's voice, quiet and defeated. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I never meant for you to find out this way. Jordan felt the world tilt. He sat down hard on the couch. How could you? How could you do that to Mom? To me? I made a terrible mistake. I wasn't thinking. You weren't thinking for 6 months? That's not a mistake. That's a choice. Multiple choices. Can we meet somewhere? Talk about this in person? No, I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk to you. Jordan's hands were shaking. And Aaliyah, she knew. She knew you were my father and she. Jordan, please. Let me explain. Jordan hung up. He looked at his mother. I need her address. Jordan? I need to talk to her. Now. Simone wrote down the address. She'd gotten it from Gregory during one of the legal proceedings. Do you want me to come with you? No. I need to do this alone. He drove across town to the apartment Aaliyah shared with 2 roommates. The building was in a trendy neighborhood near the college. He'd been here dozens of times. Had cooked dinner in that kitchen. Had watched movies on that couch. Had believed this girl loved him. He knocked on the door. One of Aaliyah's roommates answered. Jordan? Oh my God, I thought you were still in London. Is Aaliyah here? Yeah, she's in her room. Come on in. He walked down the familiar hallway and knocked on the familiar door. Aaliyah opened it with a smile that died when she saw his face. Jordan. You're home. We need to talk. Okay, sure. Come in. She stepped back. Her room looked the same. Pictures of them together on the wall. The stuffed bear he'd won for her at the fair last summer on her bed. My mom told me, Jordan said. About you and my dad. Aaliyah's face went white. Jordan, I can explain. Explain what? Explain how you slept with my father? Explain how you lied to me for 6 months? Explain how you sat at my family's table and smiled at my mother while you were sleeping with her husband. It wasn't like that. It just happened. Things don't just happen. You made choices. You chose to be with him. You chose to lie to me. You chose to destroy my family. I never meant to hurt you. Tears started down her face. I love you. Don't you dare say that. You don't love me. You can't love me and do what you did. It started as just talking. He was helping me with some legal stuff. And then we started meeting for coffee. And it turned into something else. When? When did it turn into something else? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. When did you decide to betray me? Aaliyah looked at the floor. April. It started in April. April. 6 months ago. Right after they'd celebrated their 2-year anniversary. Right after Jordan had introduced her to his extended family at Easter dinner. I thought we were happy, Jordan said. I thought we had a future together. We were happy. We did. Then why? I don't know. He made me feel special. Important. He listened to me. I listened to you. Every day. Every phone call from London. Every text message. I told you about my day, asked about yours. What more did you need? It wasn't about you. It was about me. About feeling wanted by someone older, more established. He's 40 years old. He's married to my mother. I know. Jordan felt sick. Actually physically sick. Did you ever love me? Or was I just convenient until someone better came along? Of course I loved you. I still do. You don't get to say that. Not after this. Not ever again. Jordan, please. We can work through this. We can get past it. He stared at her. At this girl he'd thought he knew. This girl he'd imagined a future with. You really think there's any universe where I'd take you back? After you slept with my father? People make mistakes. That's what he said too. Like it absolves either of you. Like calling it a mistake makes it okay. What do you want me to say? Nothing. I don't want to hear anything from you ever again. Jordan moved toward the door. Wait. Jordan, wait. Can we at least try to stay friends? He turned back. Friends? You want to be friends? After you destroyed my relationship with my father? After you helped ruin my parents' marriage? After you lied to me for 6 months? I just don't want to lose you completely. You should have thought about that before. You should have thought about a lot of things. He opened the door. Will you ever forgive me? Her voice was small. Jordan looked at her one last time. This girl who'd been such a big part of his life for 2 years. This stranger who'd betrayed him in the worst possible way. I don't know. But I know I'll never forget. And I know I never want to see you again. He walked out. Down the hallway. Past the roommate who pretended not to have been listening. Out to his car. He sat in the driver's seat with his hands on the steering wheel. And then he broke. All the anger. All the hurt. All the betrayal. It came out in harsh, ugly sobs. His girlfriend had cheated on him with his father. His father had betrayed him with his girlfriend. 2 people he trusted more than anyone. And they'd both thrown it away. Jordan cried until he had nothing left. Then he drove back to Angela's house. His mother was waiting on the porch. She took one look at his face and opened her arms. He fell into them like he was 7 years old again. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Why would they do this? Why would they hurt us like this? I don't know, baby. I don't know. They stood there for a long time. Mother and son. Both betrayed. Both hurt. Both trying to figure out how to move forward. I don't want to see him, Jordan said finally. I don't want to talk to Dad. I don't care what he has to say. Okay. Is that wrong? He's my father. Should I at least listen? There's no should in this. You do whatever you need to do to heal. If that means not talking to him right now, that's okay. I thought he was better than this. I thought he was someone I could look up to. He was. Or at least we thought he was. Maybe we were wrong. Or maybe he changed. Either way, that's on him, not us. Jordan pulled back and wiped his eyes. What happens now? Now we heal. We move forward. We build new lives that don't include people who hurt us. Together? Together. Inside, Angela had made tea. The 3 of them sat around her kitchen table, not saying much. Sometimes silence was enough. Jordan's phone buzzed. His father again. He declined the call and blocked the number. Some bridges, once burned, were meant to stay that way. The Charleston social scene thrived on gossip. Within a week of Jordan's return, everyone knew. Or thought they knew. The story changed depending on who was telling it. At the country club, I heard Gregory left Simone for a younger woman. Typical midlife crisis. At church, apparently there was infidelity. Such a shame. They seemed so stable. At the grocery store, someone told me it was the son's girlfriend. Can you imagine? Simone felt the stares everywhere she went. Heard the whispers that stopped when she walked into a room. Saw the pity in some eyes, judgment in others. She went to work on Monday morning determined to act normal. Her office at the marketing firm overlooked the harbor. Usually the view calmed her. Today it just made her feel exposed. Simone. Her assistant Rachel knocked on the open door. The team meeting is in 5 minutes. Thanks. I'll be right there. In the conference room, the conversation died when she entered. 8 people suddenly very interested in their laptops and phones. Good morning, Simone said. She sat at her usual spot. Let's talk about the new campaign for the Richards account. The meeting proceeded with uncomfortable formality. No one asked how her weekend was. No one mentioned seeing her at the usual coffee shop. They stuck strictly to business. After an hour, people filed out. Simone was gathering her notes when a voice from the doorway stopped her. Got a minute? She looked up. Terrence Mitchell stood in the doorway. He'd transferred from the Austin office 3 months ago. Mid-40s, easy smile, competent at his job. They'd worked together on a few projects. Sure. Come in. He closed the door behind him. I wanted to check on you. I heard you're going through a difficult time. News travels fast. It does in this office. Look, I don't want to pry, but I went through a divorce 2 years ago. If you need someone to talk to who understands, I'm around. Simone studied him. No pity in his eyes. No judgment. Just genuine concern. Thank you. That's kind. Also, people are going to be weird for a while. They won't know what to say or how to act. It gets better. When? He smiled. I'll let you know when I figure that out. Despite everything, Simone almost laughed. Was it hard? Going back to work after? Hardest thing I've ever done. But also necessary. Gave me something to focus on besides the mess my personal life had become. How long before people stopped whispering? Honestly, they still whisper sometimes. But eventually you stop caring. You realize their opinions don't matter nearly as much as your own peace of mind. I'm not there yet. You will be. He moved toward the door, then paused. Hey, a few of us are grabbing lunch at the new place on King Street Friday. Nothing fancy. Just sandwiches and complaining about work. Want to come? I don't know. No pressure. But the invitation stands. After he left, Simone sat alone in the conference room. Terrence was the first person who treated her normally since news broke. No awkward sympathy. No probing questions. Just straightforward kindness. Her phone buzzed. Angela, Gregory's lawyer filed response to our initial demands. Wants to meet this week. She typed back, what are they proposing? Same garbage as before. We counter tomorrow. Simone put the phone away and went back to her office. Work didn't stop because her life had fallen apart. The Richards account still needed attention. The quarterly reports were still due. Life continued. At lunch, she ate at her desk instead of joining the team in the break room. She wasn't ready for casual conversation. Wasn't ready to pretend everything was fine. Her office phone rang. The front desk. Mrs. Brooks? There's a Diane Brooks here to see you. She doesn't have an appointment. Simone's stomach dropped. Tell her I'm unavailable. She's quite insistent. Says it's urgent. I'm unavailable. If she doesn't leave, call security. Understood. 5 minutes later, Rachel appeared at her door. Your mother-in-law left. She wasn't happy. She never is. Simone turned back to her computer screen. By 3 o'clock, she had a headache. By 4, she'd accomplished more work than she had in the past 2 weeks combined. By 5, when most people were packing up to leave, she was still at her desk. A knock on her door frame. Terrence again. You're still here. Needed to catch up. Or avoiding going home? She looked up. Is it that obvious? I logged 12-hour days for 3 months after my divorce. My therapist finally told me I was using work to avoid processing my feelings. Were you? Absolutely. Didn't make her wrong though. Simone saved her document and closed her laptop. I'm staying with my friend Angela. It's easier than being in the house. But it doesn't feel like home. Nothing feels like home for a while. Then one day you realize you've built something new. Different but yours. I hope you're right. Hey, tomorrow night a bunch of us are going to that jazz club on East Bay. Wanna come? No work talk. No personal questions. Just music and overpriced drinks. Simone hesitated. Then thought about sitting in Angela's guest room another night. Thought about the 4 walls closing in. Okay. What time? 8. Meet at the entrance. I'll be there. Walking to her car, she felt lighter. Not happy. Not okay. But slightly less crushed by the weight of everything. At Angela's house, Nina had dinner waiting. Her sister had taken a week off work to help. How was the office? Nina asked. Awkward. But manageable. People whispering? People trying very hard not to whisper while obviously whispering. Jordan came downstairs. He'd been sleeping a lot. Processing. Healing. Hey Mom. How you doing? I'm okay. How about you? I called the university. They're letting me finish my last semester remotely. I don't want to go back to campus yet. That's smart. Take the time you need. They ate together. Not talking much. Just being present. Sometimes that was enough. After dinner, Simone's phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Hello. Simone Brooks. A professional voice. Female. Yes. This is Sarah Collins from the Charleston Chronicle. I'm doing a story about infidelity in high-profile marriages. I'd love to get your perspective on. Simone hung up. The phone immediately rang again. Different number. She let it go to voicemail. 2 more calls in the next 10 minutes. Both from numbers she didn't recognize. Both went to voicemail. What's happening? Nina asked. Reporters. Somehow they got my number. Angela walked in from the kitchen. Don't answer any of them. Don't talk to anyone from the press. Gregory and Aaliyah are fair game. You're not. How did they even find out? Small city. Big scandal. And someone probably tipped them off. My money's on Diane trying to control the narrative. Jordan looked up from his phone. It's online. There's an article about Dad and Aaliyah. They name me. They have pictures of our family from social media. Simone felt sick. This was exactly what she'd been afraid of. Their private pain turned into public entertainment. I'm going to make some calls, Angela said. See if we can get them to pull the article or at least remove Jordan's name. Will that work? Simone asked. Probably not. But we can try. That night, lying in the guest bed, Simone scrolled through the article. It was mostly accurate. The affair. The age difference. The family connection. But seeing it written out like that, seeing strangers commenting on her marriage, on her pain, made everything feel worse. One comment caught her eye. She must not have been satisfying him at home. No wonder he strayed. Another, gold digger girlfriend probably seduced him. Men are weak. And another, they're both adults. If the marriage was healthy, this wouldn't have happened. Every comment had an opinion. None of them knew the truth. None of them cared. Simone closed the browser and put her phone face down on the nightstand. Tomorrow she'd deal with it. Tomorrow she'd figure out how to respond to the public attention. Tomorrow she'd decide whether to make a statement or stay silent. Tonight she just needed to sleep. But sleep didn't come easy. The mediation was scheduled for 10 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. Simone wore a green blazer and black pants. Professional. Put together. The armor she needed to face Gregory across a conference table. Angela briefed her on the way to the law office. Remember, stay calm. Don't react to anything he says. Let me do most of the talking. What if he tries to negotiate? Then we listen and counter. But Simone, you need to know something. We found some financial irregularities while preparing the case. What kind of irregularities? Withdrawals from your joint savings. Substantial ones. Starting about 7 months ago. How much? $35,000 over 6 months. Simone felt her hands go cold. What was he spending it on? We're still piecing it together. But based on credit card records we subpoenaed, there were hotel stays, restaurant bills, gifts. All for Aaliyah. He was using our savings to fund his affair. That's what it looks like. Which means in mediation we have substantial leverage. He committed financial infidelity on top of everything else. The law office was downtown, in one of those old Charleston buildings with high ceilings and crown molding. Gregory was already there with his attorney, Michael Brennan. A man in his 50s with silver hair and an expensive suit. Gregory looked up when Simone walked in. His eyes were red-rimmed. He'd lost weight. Part of her felt satisfaction at that. A larger part felt nothing at all. Simone, he started. Mrs. Brooks, Angela corrected firmly. Let's keep this professional. They sat on opposite sides of a polished oak table. The mediator, a neutral third party named Patricia Reynolds, sat at the head. Thank you all for coming, Patricia began. The goal today is to reach an agreement that works for both parties without going to trial. Mr. Brennan, would you like to present your client's proposal? Michael opened a folder. My client is willing to agree to a 50-50 split of all marital assets. The house in Charleston, the vacation condo in Hilton Head, retirement accounts, and savings. He proposes minimal alimony for 2 years while Mrs. Brooks adjusts to single income. Minimal alimony? Angela's voice was sharp. After 15 years of marriage where my client supported him through law school, moved multiple times for his career, and put her own advancement on hold? Mrs. Brooks has a successful career of her own. She doesn't need substantial support. What she needs and what she deserves are different things. Angela pulled out her own folder. Let's talk about what Mr. Brooks has been doing with marital assets. She slid documents across the table. Bank statements. Credit card bills. All highlighted and annotated. Over the past 6 months, Mr. Brooks withdrew $35,000 from joint savings. This money was spent on hotels, gifts, and travel for his extramarital affair. That's theft of marital assets. Gregory's face went red. I was going to pay it back. With what? The money you don't have because you spent it on a 24-year-old girl? Angela's tone was ice. Your client engaged in financial infidelity. He stole from marital accounts to fund an affair with their son's girlfriend. No judge is going to look kindly on that. My client made mistakes, Michael said. But that doesn't entitle Mrs. Brooks to punitive damages. This isn't about punishment. It's about fairness. My client is entitled to the house. She's entitled to 70% of liquid assets. She's entitled to substantial alimony based on the lifestyle established during the marriage. And she's entitled to compensation for the money your client stole. Those terms are unreasonable. What's unreasonable is your client's behavior. What's unreasonable is thinking he can have an affair, steal marital funds, betray his family, and walk away with half of everything. Patricia held up a hand. Let's take a breath. Mr. Brooks, would you like to respond? Gregory looked at Simone. I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. But I don't think taking everything is the answer. We built this life together. You destroyed it yourself, Simone said quietly. It was the first time she'd spoken directly to him since the mediation started. I'm trying to make this right. Making it right would be admitting what you did was wrong. Admitting you stole from our savings. Admitting you put our son in an impossible position. Not trying to negotiate like this is a business deal. I am admitting it. I know I was wrong. But I still deserve fair treatment. Fair treatment. Simone felt anger rising. You want fair? Fair would be you facing consequences for your choices. Fair would be me not having to explain to friends why my husband was sleeping with our son's girlfriend. Fair would be Jordan not having to go to therapy because his father betrayed him. I'm in therapy too. Good for you. Want a medal? Angela touched her arm gently. A reminder to stay calm. Let me propose a counter, Angela said. Mrs. Brooks gets the house outright. Mr. Brooks gets the Hilton Head condo. Assets split 60-40 in Mrs. Brooks' favor. Alimony of $4,000 monthly for 5 years. And Mr. Brooks repays the $35,000 to Mrs. Brooks within 90 days. Michael shook his head. That's not acceptable. Then we go to trial. We submit all these bank records. All the text messages. All the evidence of the affair. We put Aaliyah Harper on the stand and ask her detailed questions about your client's behavior. We make this public in the worst possible way. You're threatening us? I'm informing you of the alternative if we can't reach an agreement today. Patricia intervened again. Perhaps we should take a 15-minute break. Let everyone cool down and reconsider their positions. In the hallway, Simone leaned against the wall. Was I too harsh? You were honest. That's not harsh. He looked so hurt when I said those things. Good. You should be hurt. He should understand exactly what he did to you. Is 60-40 asking too much? After what he did? After stealing from savings? No. We're being generous. When they reconvened, Michael had a new proposal. 55-45 split. $3,000 monthly alimony for 4 years. House to Mrs. Brooks. Condo to Mr. Brooks. The $35,000 repaid within 6 months. Angela looked at Simone. A question in her eyes. Simone thought about it. About what was fair. About what would let her move forward. Fine, she said. But I want it in writing that he doesn't contact Jordan unless Jordan initiates. And I want it stated clearly in the agreement that the cause of divorce was infidelity on his part. Done, Michael said quickly. They spent the next 2 hours hammering out details. Division of furniture. Who kept which car. How retirement accounts would be split. By 1 o'clock they had a draft agreement. We'll review this with our clients and have a final version by end of week, Angela said. Outside in the bright afternoon sun, Simone felt exhausted. You did good in there, Angela said. Did I get everything I wanted? No. But you got what matters. The house. Financial security. And most importantly, you stood up for yourself. You didn't let him minimize what he did. That night, Simone sat in Angela's backyard with a glass of wine. Nina and Jordan were inside watching a movie. Her phone rang. Gregory. She almost didn't answer, then decided she would just this once. Hello. Simone. Thank you for not pushing this to trial. I know it would have been brutal. It still might be if you don't follow through on the agreement. I will. I promise. He paused. I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix anything. But I need you to know I never meant to hurt you this badly. But you did hurt me. You hurt Jordan. You hurt our entire family. And saying you didn't mean to doesn't change that. I know. Why did you do it, Gregory? Really? Why her? Silence on the other end. Then, I don't have a good answer. She made me feel important. Special. Like I mattered. You always mattered. To me. To Jordan. We loved you. I know. And I threw it away. I'm going to regret that for the rest of my life. Good. You should. She hung up before he could respond. Inside, Jordan looked up when she came back in. Was that Dad? Yes. Just finalizing some legal stuff. Do you still love him? The question caught her off guard. I love who I thought he was. I don't know if that person ever really existed. I asked him why he did it. He said he wasn't thinking. That's probably true. But it's not an excuse. No, Jordan agreed. It's not. They sat together watching the rest of the movie. A comedy about second chances and new beginnings. Simone hoped life would imitate art. But she knew better than to count on it. 2 weeks after the mediation, Simone was working late at the office when Rachel buzzed her phone. There's an Aaliyah Harper here to see you. She says it's urgent. Simone's first instinct was to say no. To have security remove her. But curiosity won. Send her up. Aaliyah looked different than the last time Simone had seen her. Thinner. Dark circles under her eyes. Her hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. She wore jeans and an oversized sweatshirt. Mrs. Brooks. Thank you for seeing me. You have 5 minutes. Aaliyah twisted her hands together. I need to talk to you about something important. It's about Gregory. I don't want to hear anything about my ex-husband from you. Ex-husband? The divorce is final? Not yet. But it will be soon. Right. Okay. Well, the thing is... Aaliyah took a shaky breath. I'm pregnant. The words hit Simone like a physical blow. What? I'm pregnant. With Gregory's baby. I'm about 10 weeks along. Simone sat down slowly. Does he know? I told him last week. He said it's not his problem. He said I need to handle it myself. Tears started down Aaliyah's face. I don't have anyone else. My parents kicked me out when they found out about the affair. I lost my job. I'm living with friends but I can't afford. Stop. Simone held up a hand. Why are you telling me this? I need help. I need money. For doctor's appointments, for... You want me to give you money for my husband's baby with you? Ex-husband. You said it yourself. And I have nowhere else to turn. Simone felt something cold settle in her chest. Get out. Please. I know what I did was wrong. I know I hurt you. But the baby didn't do anything wrong. I just need help getting through this. Call Gregory. Call his mother. Call anyone but me. Gregory won't help. He says he's broke from the divorce settlement. And his mother told me I'm a gold digger who got what I deserved. Maybe you did. Aaliyah's eyes widened. That's cruel. Cruel is sleeping with someone's husband. Cruel is betraying a young man who loved you. Cruel is sitting at my dinner table knowing what you were doing behind our backs. Don't talk to me about cruel. I made mistakes. I admit that. But I'm trying to do the right thing now. I want to keep this baby. I want to give it a good life. I just need some help. Then get a job. Figure it out. Like every other person who finds themselves in a difficult situation. I'm trying. But no one will hire me. Everyone knows about the scandal. My name is all over the internet. That's what happens when you make choices. They have consequences. Aaliyah's face hardened. So you're just going to let an innocent baby suffer because you hate me? That baby is not my responsibility. Neither are you. What about Jordan? This will be his half-sibling. Don't you think he deserves to know? Simone stood up. Don't you dare bring my son into this. You lost any right to talk about Jordan when you slept with his father. I loved him. I still do. You don't know what love is. If you did, you never would have done what you did. I'm not leaving until you agree to help me. Simone walked to her office door and opened it. Security will escort you out if you don't leave voluntarily. Please. Mrs. Brooks. Simone. Please. I'm desperate. Then you understand how I felt when I found out about you and Gregory. When my whole world fell apart. When everything I thought was true turned out to be a lie. It's not the same. You're right. It's not. Because I didn't create this situation for myself through my own choices. You did. Aaliyah stood slowly. You're going to regret this. When that baby grows up and asks about you, when Jordan finds out you turned your back on his sibling, you're going to regret this. I'll take that chance. After Aaliyah left, Simone called Angela. She showed up at my office, Simone said without preamble. Who? Aaliyah. Claims she's pregnant with Gregory's baby. Wanted money. Jesus. Is she really pregnant? I don't know. I didn't ask for proof. What did you tell her? To leave. To figure it out herself. Was that wrong? Wrong? Simone, you don't owe that girl anything. Least of all money. But what if she really is pregnant? What if there really is a baby? Then that's between her and Gregory. Not you. It would be Jordan's half-sibling. Jordan is an adult who can decide for himself what relationship, if any, he wants with that situation. But you? You're done. You're divorced. You're moving on. I feel guilty. What? What did you do wrong? Nothing. But what if the baby? Stop. The baby, if there is one, has a father. Gregory can step up or not. That's his choice. But you are not responsible for cleaning up his mess. Simone knew Angela was right. But it didn't make it easier. That evening she told Jordan what happened. His face went pale. She's pregnant? She says she is. I don't know if it's true. With Dad's baby. According to her, yes. Jordan was quiet for a long moment. What are you going to do? Nothing. It's not my situation to deal with. But if there's a baby? Then your father will have to figure that out. I'm not getting involved. Do you think it's true? Or is she making it up? I don't know. And honestly, I don't care. She made her choices. Now she lives with them. 2 days later, Angela called with news. You're going to love this. Aaliyah isn't pregnant. What? I had our investigator do some digging. She went to 3 different pregnancy centers looking for free ultrasounds and proof. None of them found anything because there's nothing to find. She's not pregnant. She lied. She lied. Probably hoping you'd feel guilty enough to give her money. Or hoping to manipulate Gregory back into her life. So the whole thing was a scam? The whole thing was a scam. Simone felt anger rise in her chest. She came to my workplace. She cried. She said the baby was innocent. All lies. I'm documenting everything in case she tries this again. If she contacts you, Gregory, or Jordan, we can pursue harassment charges. Should we tell Gregory? I'll have our attorney send him a notice. Let him know what his little girlfriend tried to pull. After Angela hung up, Simone sat with the information. Part of her felt vindicated. She'd been right not to help. Right not to trust Aaliyah's tears and desperate pleas. Another part felt sad. Sad that someone so young was so desperate that faking a pregnancy seemed like a viable option. Sad that her husband's choices had led to this tangled, ugly mess. But mostly she felt relieved. Relieved there was no baby. No permanent connection to that situation. No reason to ever think about Aaliyah again. That weekend, Terrence invited her to dinner. Just the 2 of them. Not a date, he assured her. Just 2 friends getting to know each other better. They went to a quiet restaurant on the waterfront. The kind of place where conversation came easy and the food was good enough to not be the main focus. You look tired, Terrence observed. Dealing with some ex-husband drama. Long story. Don't have to tell me if you don't want to. So she told him. About Aaliyah showing up. About the fake pregnancy. About the lies and manipulation. That's rough, he said when she finished. Some people will do anything when they're desperate. I almost fell for it. Almost helped her. But you didn't. You trusted your instincts. I don't know if it was instinct or just anger. Does it matter? Either way, you made the right call. They talked about other things. His life in Austin. Why he moved to Charleston. His daughter who was away at college. Do you miss being married? Simone asked. Sometimes. I miss having someone to share things with. But I don't miss the fights. Don't miss the constant tension. Was it hard to trust again? After the divorce. Still working on that part. He smiled. But it gets easier. You learn that not everyone is going to hurt you. Some people are actually decent. I hope you're right. I am. And whenever you're ready, you'll see it too. Walking back to her car, Simone realized she'd laughed more that evening than she had in months. Real laughter. Not forced or fake. Maybe healing wasn't about forgetting what happened. Maybe it was about learning to find moments of joy despite what happened. Maybe she was going to be okay after all. 6 months after finding that lipstick-stained wine glass, Simone moved back into her house. The divorce was final. Gregory had moved to Columbia for a new job. Jordan was finishing his degree remotely and talking about graduate school. The house felt different now. Lighter somehow. She'd repainted the living room a soft blue. Replaced the couch where Aaliyah had sat. Hung new artwork that made her smile. Nina helped her unpack the boxes she'd stored at Angela's place. "This is good," her sister said. "A fresh start. It feels strange being back. Give it time. You'll make new memories. Better ones." Simone had started therapy 2 months ago. Dr. Patricia Williams was a no-nonsense woman in her 60s who didn't let Simone wallow in self-pity. "You can be hurt," Patricia told her. "You can be angry. But you can't let those feelings define the rest of your life. At some point you have to decide to move forward." So Simone did. She joined a painting class on Thursday nights. Discovered she had a talent for watercolors. The instructor, an older man named James, praised her eye for color. "You're not afraid of bold choices," he observed. "That's rare." She reconnected with old friends she'd neglected during the marriage. Realized how much of herself she'd lost trying to be the perfect wife. Work got better too. She'd been promoted to VP of marketing. Terrence was promoted around the same time. They celebrated together over coffee. "Congratulations," he said. "Well deserved." "You too. Maybe now we'll actually have time to enjoy it." Speaking of enjoying things, there's a gallery opening downtown Friday night. "Want to come? As friends?" he added quickly. "Sure. Sounds nice." The gallery showed local artists. Simone found herself drawn to a series of abstract paintings. Bold reds and blues swirling together. "What do you see?" Terrence asked, standing beside her. "Chaos becoming something beautiful. Pain transforming into art." "That's deeper than I expected." She laughed. "Sorry? Too much?" "No. It's perfect. You're perfect." The word hung between them. Simone felt her heart skip. "Terrence? Sorry? That came out wrong. I mean, you're handling everything so well. The divorce, the scandal, rebuilding your life. It's impressive." "I don't feel impressive. Most days I feel like I'm barely holding it together. But you are holding it together. That's what matters." Over the next few weeks they spent more time together. Coffee before work. Lunch on busy days. Walks along the Battery on weekends. Jordan noticed. "You're spending a lot of time with this Terrence guy." "He's a friend." "Mom, I'm not a kid. I can tell when someone likes you." "It's complicated." "What?" "Dad moved on. Sounds like he was with Aaliyah before you even knew. You deserve to be happy too." "I don't know if I'm ready." "Then take your time. But don't close yourself off because of what Dad did. That's letting him win." Simone thought about that conversation for days. Was she letting Gregory's betrayal stop her from living? From being open to new experiences? She decided to find out. "Terrence," she said one afternoon, "would you like to have dinner with me? A real dinner. Not just friends." His smile lit up his whole face. "I thought you'd never ask." Their first official date was at a small Italian restaurant. They talked for 3 hours about everything and nothing. Their families. Their dreams. Their fears. "I like this," Terrence said at the end of the night. "I like spending time with you." "I like it too. But I need to take things slow. As slow as you need. I'm not going anywhere." He kissed her cheek at her door. Sweet and simple. A promise of patience. Jordan was still awake when she got home. "How was it?" "Good. Really good." "You deserve that, Mom. You deserve someone who treats you right." "So do you? Are you dating anyone?" "Maybe. There's a girl in one of my online classes. We've been talking a lot." "Good girl?" "Great girl. Nothing like." He trailed off. "You can say her name." "Aaliyah." "Nothing like Aaliyah," he finished. "This girl is kind. Honest. She makes me laugh." "Then I'm happy for you. Are you really okay, Mom? With everything?" Simone thought about it. "I'm getting there. Some days are harder than others. But I'm learning to be okay with just me. Learning that I don't need someone else to be complete." "That's good. That's healthy. When did you get so wise?" "I had a good teacher." 3 months into dating Terrence, Simone felt lighter than she had in years. He never pushed. Never demanded more than she could give. Just showed up consistently, proving through actions that not all men were like Gregory. One Saturday they drove to the mountains for the day. Hiked a trail with views that took her breath away. "Thank you," she said at the summit. For what? For being patient. For not making me feel guilty about taking things slow. Simone, I watched my marriage fall apart because we rushed everything. Rushed into dating, rushed into marriage, rushed through problems instead of dealing with them. I'm not making that mistake again. With you, I want to do everything right. What if I'm broken? What if I can't fully trust again? Then we work on it together. No one's perfect. We've all got scars. At Angela's house for dinner one night, her friend pulled her aside. You look happy. I am. That's weird, right? It's not weird. It's healing. That's what happens when you do the work. When you don't just paper over the pain but actually deal with it. I still have bad days. That's normal. Healing isn't linear. But you're moving forward. That's what counts. Jordan graduated that spring with honors. He'd been accepted to graduate school in psychology. I want to help people going through what we went through, he explained. Families dealing with betrayal. People learning to trust again. Simone had never been more proud. At his graduation dinner, Terrence was there. Nina and Angela. Some of Jordan's friends. Gregory had sent a card with money. Jordan put it aside without comment. Should we call him? Simone asked. Let him know about graduation? No. He made his choices. I'm making mine. It was sad. But also healthy. Jordan was setting boundaries. Protecting himself. Deciding what relationships deserved his energy. That night, lying in bed in her house that finally felt like home, Simone realized something. She didn't think about Gregory anymore. Didn't wonder what he was doing or if he regretted his choices. He'd become irrelevant to her life. That was the real victory. Not that he suffered. Not that she got revenge. But that she built something new. Something better. Something entirely hers. The pain didn't define her anymore. The betrayal didn't control her anymore. She was free. The courthouse on Monday morning was quiet. Simone wore a blue dress and heels. Professional. Confident. Ready to close this chapter for good. Angela met her outside. Ready? More than ready. They walked into the courtroom together. Gregory was already there with his attorney. He'd aged in the past year. More gray in his hair. Deeper lines around his eyes. He tried to catch her eye. She looked straight ahead. Judge Anderson was efficient. She reviewed the settlement agreement, asked if both parties understood the terms, and confirmed there were no outstanding issues. Mr. Brooks, do you agree to the terms as outlined? Yes, Your Honor. Mrs. Brooks? Yes, Your Honor. Then by the power vested in me by the state of South Carolina, I hereby grant this divorce. The settlement agreement is binding as of today's date. Good luck to you both. The gavel came down. Just like that, 15 years of marriage ended. Outside in the hallway, Gregory approached. Simone, can we talk for a minute? We don't have anything to talk about. I just want to say, I'm sorry. For everything. I know that doesn't change anything. But I need you to know. She looked at him. Really looked at him. This man she'd loved. This stranger who'd destroyed her trust. I believe you're sorry. But that doesn't mean I forgive you. And it doesn't mean I forget. I understand. I just hope someday you can find peace with what happened. I already have. But that peace doesn't include you. He nodded slowly. Jordan won't talk to me. Won't return my calls or texts. That's his choice. Not mine. Will you at least tell him I love him? That I want to fix our relationship? No. If you want to say something to your son, you find a way to say it yourself. I'm done being the messenger between you and the people you hurt. That's fair. I guess this is goodbye then. It was goodbye the night I found out about Aaliyah. This is just making it official. Simone walked away without looking back. Angela fell into step beside her. You okay? I'm great. Actually great. That evening, she celebrated at her favorite restaurant with the people who mattered. Nina, Angela, Jordan, and Terrence. They toasted to new beginnings. To healing. To the future. Speech. Nina called out. Simone stood, glass in hand. A year ago, I thought my life was ending. I'd found out my husband was having an affair. My whole world fell apart. I didn't know how I'd survive it. But you all showed me that I could. You showed me that family isn't just blood. It's the people who show up. Who stay. Who love you through the worst and celebrate the best. So thank you. For being my family. For helping me rebuild. For reminding me that I'm stronger than I knew. To Simone, Angela raised her glass. To Mom, Jordan added. To moving forward, Terrence said quietly, his eyes on hers. Later, walking along the Battery with Terrence, Simone felt peace settle over her like a blanket. What are you thinking? He asked. That I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. With me. With myself. Finally comfortable in my own skin. Finally not needing someone else to complete me. And yes, with you. But not because I need you. Because I want you. There's a difference. There is. And I want you too. The real you. Not some version you think you should be. What if the real me is messy sometimes? What if I have days where I don't trust easily? Where I'm guarded? Then we work through it. Together. As partners. Not as someone trying to fix you, but as someone walking beside you. He kissed her then. Soft and sweet and full of promise. Simone kissed him back. Not with desperation or need. But with hope. With possibility. With the understanding that this was the start of something new. Back home, Jordan was packing for graduate school. He'd be moving to Chapel Hill in 2 weeks. You sure you're ready? Simone asked from his doorway. I am. It's time. I'm going to miss you. I'll visit. And you can come up there. Plus there's video calls. It's not the same. No. But it's good. It's healthy. We both need to build our own lives. When did you become so mature? I had to grow up fast this year. But maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe I needed to learn that people are complicated. That families aren't perfect. That love sometimes means setting boundaries. Have you thought any more about reaching out to your dad? Jordan shook his head. Not yet. Maybe someday. But right now I need distance. I need to figure out who I am without that relationship weighing on me. I understand. I'm proud of you for knowing what you need. I learned from watching you. You didn't let what Dad did destroy you. You rebuilt. That takes courage. Simone hugged her son tight. You're going to do amazing things. I know it. So are you, Mom. So are you. The next morning, Simone went to her painting class. James had asked if she'd be willing to show some of her work at a local exhibit. Your use of color is bold, he said. Confident. It tells a story. What story do you see? Transformation. Pain becoming beauty. Darkness finding light. That's exactly what it is. Then let other people see it. Let them know that transformation is possible. She agreed. The exhibit would open in 2 months. At work, she'd been approached about a speaking engagement. A conference about women in leadership. Specifically, about resilience in the face of personal setbacks. I don't know if I'm qualified, she told the organizer. You survived a public scandal. You rebuilt your career. You came out stronger. That's exactly the message women need to hear. So she said yes. Wrote a speech about finding strength in adversity. About not letting betrayal define you. About building a life on your own terms. The night of the speech, Terrence was in the audience. Jordan had flown in to support her. Nina and Angela sat front row. Simone stood at the podium and looked out at 200 faces. A year ago my life fell apart, she began. My husband betrayed me in the worst way possible. I thought I'd never recover. Never trust again. Never feel whole. But I was wrong. Because I learned something important. Healing isn't about forgetting what happened. It's not about pretending the pain didn't exist. It's about acknowledging it, processing it, and then choosing to move forward anyway. It's about building something new from the broken pieces. Something stronger. Something truly yours. She spoke for 30 minutes. About the journey. The setbacks. The small victories. The decision to focus on what she could control rather than what she couldn't. The applause when she finished was long and loud. Women came up to her afterward with tears in their eyes, sharing their own stories of betrayal and survival. Thank you, one woman said. I needed to hear that I'm not alone. You're not, Simone assured her. None of us are. Driving home that night, Terrence reached over and squeezed her hand. You were amazing up there. I was terrified. Couldn't tell. You looked completely confident. Fake it till you make it, right? Or maybe you're just stronger than you give yourself credit for. Maybe she was. Maybe surviving the worst thing she could imagine had shown her exactly how resilient she actually was. Maybe Gregory's betrayal hadn't broken her at all. Maybe it had just revealed how unbreakable she'd always been. That night, in her house that was finally just hers, Simone looked at herself in the bathroom mirror. Same face. Same eyes. But different somehow. Older. Wiser. Stronger. She smiled at her reflection. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. New opportunities. New moments to prove to herself that she could handle whatever came. But tonight she was just going to be proud of how far she'd come. And that was enough. 1 year after the divorce was finalized, Simone woke up on her 39th birthday to sun streaming through her bedroom window. The same window where she'd sat in darkness a year ago, processing betrayal. Everything was different now. She went downstairs to find Terrence in her kitchen making breakfast. They'd been dating for 10 months, taking things slow, building something real. "Happy birthday," he said, kissing her forehead. "You didn't have to do this. I wanted to. Plus, Nina texted me yesterday with very specific threats about what would happen if I didn't make today special." Simone laughed. Her sister had become fiercely protective this past year. Her phone buzzed with messages. Angela wishing her a happy birthday and reminding her about dinner tonight. Jordan calling from grad school to sing an off-key birthday song. Nina sending a dozen heart emojis. Even James from her painting class sent a text. "Happy birthday to my favorite student. Your exhibit piece sold. Buyer wants to commission more work." Her art had become more than a hobby. It was a way to process, to heal, to express things words couldn't capture. The painting that sold was titled Breaking. Bold reds and blues swirling into gold. Chaos finding order. Pain becoming beauty. Work had called earlier in the week. They wanted her to lead a new initiative. Mentoring young women in the company. Helping them navigate career challenges. "You've been through a lot," her boss said. "And you came out stronger. That experience has value. Share it." So she would. Because her pain didn't have to be wasted. It could become something that helped others. At lunch, she met Nina and Angela at their favorite cafe. 39 looks good on you," Angela observed. "You're glowing." "I feel good. Really good." "Is that weird?" "It's not weird. It's healing. It's what happens when you do the hard work." Speaking of hard work, Nina interjected. "Tell us about Terrence. Things are getting serious." "They are. But we're not rushing anything. Learning from past mistakes." "He's good for you," Angela said. "Patient. Kind. Actually shows up." "The bar is low when we're comparing to Gregory," Simone joked. But it was true. Terrence proved every day through small actions that he was different. He listened. He remembered details. He respected boundaries. That evening, her house filled with people. Jordan had flown in that morning, surprising her. Nina brought decorations. Angela brought wine. Terrence cooked dinner for everyone. Even some colleagues from work showed up. Rachel, her assistant. A few people from the leadership team. Terrence's friends from the Austin office who'd relocated. "Make a wish," Nina said, lighting candles on a chocolate cake. Simone looked around at the faces gathered in her living room. Her sister. Her son. Her best friend. The man who was proving that love could be patient and kind. The friends who'd supported her through the worst. A year ago, she'd wished for her life to go back to normal. For the pain to stop. For everything to be the way it was before. Now she wouldn't wish for that if she could. Because going back would mean giving up everything she'd built. Every lesson she'd learned. Every way she'd grown. She closed her eyes and made a wish. Not for the past to change, but for the future to keep unfolding. For continued growth. For peace. For joy. She blew out the candles. Everyone cheered. Later, after most guests had left, Simone sat on her back porch with Terrence. "Thank you for tonight," she said. "For making it special. You deserve special. Every day. I used to think I needed someone else to make me feel complete. Needed validation from my husband. Needed him to choose me to prove my worth. And now I know my worth isn't dependent on anyone else. I'm complete on my own. Which means when I'm with you, it's because I want to be. Not because I need to be." That's the healthiest thing I've ever heard. Therapy is expensive but effective. They laughed together, comfortable in the silence that followed. "I love you," Terrence said quietly. No pressure. No expectations. Just wanted you to know. Simone felt her heart swell. Not with panic or fear. With warmth. With possibility. "I love you too. And that terrifies me and excites me in equal measure. We'll figure it out. Together." Inside, Jordan was helping Nina clean up. Simone watched them through the window. Her son who'd grown so much this year. Who'd learned hard lessons about trust and boundaries. Who'd chosen to build a life focused on helping others. "I'm proud of him," Terrence said, following her gaze. "Me too. He could have let what happened make him bitter. Instead, he's using it to become better. Like his mother." "I don't know about that. Most days I still feel like I'm figuring it out. That's life. No one has it all figured out. We're all just doing our best." At 11 o'clock, after everyone left, Simone walked through her house. The living room where she'd found that wine glass now held laughter and new memories. The kitchen where she'd confronted Gregory now hosted family dinners. The bedroom where she'd cried herself to sleep now brought her peace. Same house. Completely different home. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost didn't look. Then curiosity won. A text from Gregory, "Happy birthday. I hope you're well. I know I have no right to reach out, but I wanted you to know I'm proud of how you've rebuilt. You deserved better than what I gave you. I hope you found it." She stared at the message for a long moment. A year ago, those words would have made her angry, would have opened old wounds. Now she felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. Just mild indifference. She didn't respond. Didn't block the number. Just set her phone down and went to bed. Gregory was part of her past. But he didn't get to be part of her present. And he definitely wouldn't be part of her future. That night she dreamed of colors. Bold reds and blues swirling together. Breaking apart. Reforming into something new. Something beautiful. Something entirely her own. She woke up smiling. Jordan left the next morning to head back to school. "Love you, Mom. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you too, baby. Call me when you land. Always." At work on Monday, Simone started her new mentoring initiative. 5 young women gathered in the conference room. All at different stages of their careers. All facing different challenges. "I'm not here to tell you what to do," Simone began. "I'm here to share what I've learned. To listen to your experiences. To help you navigate the complicated reality of being a woman in leadership. You're all brilliant. You all belong here. Never let anyone make you doubt that." One young woman raised her hand. "How do you handle setbacks? When something goes wrong and you feel like giving up?" "You let yourself feel it. The disappointment. The frustration. The fear. But you don't live there. You feel it, process it, and then you decide what comes next. You don't let one failure or setback define your entire journey." Another woman spoke up. "What about work-life balance? How do you make time for personal life while advancing professionally?" Simone thought about her answer. "Honestly, it's hard. There's no perfect balance. Some seasons are work-heavy. Some are personal-heavy. The key is being intentional. Knowing your priorities and making choices that align with them." They talked for an hour. About challenges. About triumphs. About the specific obstacles women face in male-dominated industries. "Thank you," one woman said at the end. "This is exactly what I needed." That afternoon, Simone got a call from Jordan. "Mom, I need to tell you something. I've been in therapy. Working through everything that happened." "That's good, honey. I'm glad. And my therapist suggested I might want to try talking to Dad again. Not to forgive him or go back to how things were. But to get closure. To say what I need to say. How do you feel about that?" "Scared. Angry. But also, ready maybe? I don't know if I'll ever have a real relationship with him again. But I think I need to at least try to clear the air. For me, not for him." "Then you should do it. And I'll support you whatever you decide. Even if I eventually forgive him?" "Even then. Jordan, my relationship with your father is separate from yours. I'll never get back together with him. I'll never trust him again. But you? You get to decide what healing looks like for you. What forgiveness means. What boundaries you need. I won't judge you for any of it." "Thanks, Mom. That means a lot." After they hung up, Simone sat with the conversation. Jordan possibly rebuilding some kind of relationship with Gregory didn't threaten her. Didn't change her own boundaries. She could support her son's healing while maintaining her own. That weekend, she went to a gallery opening with Terrence. Her painting hung on the wall alongside works by established local artists. People gathered around it, studying the colors and movement. "What does it mean?" someone asked her. "It means whatever speaks to you," Simone answered. "For me, it's about transformation. About taking something broken and creating something new. About finding beauty in unexpected places." "It's powerful," the person said. "I can feel the emotion in it." Later, standing in front of her painting with Terrence beside her, Simone felt a sense of completion. Not because her life was perfect. Not because she'd gotten revenge or proved something to Gregory. But because she'd built something real. Something meaningful. Something hers. "Happy?" Terrence asked. "Very. Good. You deserve to be." They walked along the waterfront after the gallery closed. The same waterfront where she used to walk with Gregory. But it didn't feel like retracing old steps. It felt like creating new memories. "Can I ask you something?" Terrence said. "Always." "What made you decide to give us a chance? After everything you went through?" Simone thought about it. "You were patient. You never pushed. You showed me through actions, not just words, that you were different. And I realized that closing myself off to protect myself from potential pain was just another way of letting Gregory win. He didn't get to take my capacity for love. my ability to trust, my openness to new experiences. Those things are mine. And I decided I wanted to use them again. I'm glad you did. Me too. At home that night, Simone sat at her desk and wrote in her journal. Something her therapist had suggested 6 months ago. A year ago I thought my life was ending. I thought betrayal had broken me beyond repair. But I was wrong. The breaking wasn't destruction. It was transformation. Like a bone that heals stronger at the fracture site. Like clay that's fired and becomes permanent. Gregory's affair didn't destroy me. It revealed who I really was underneath the role of wife, the title of Mrs. Brooks, the identity I'd built around someone else. It showed me I was stronger than I knew. More resilient than I believed. More capable of standing alone than I'd ever imagined. And now, a year later, I'm not the same person I was. I'm someone who knows her worth isn't tied to anyone else. Someone who can be whole on her own and still choose partnership. Someone who faced the worst and came out the other side. This isn't the ending I wanted a year ago. It's better. Because it's real. It's mine. And no one can take it away from me. She closed the journal and looked around her house. Her home. Her space. Her sanctuary. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. New opportunities. New moments to prove to herself she could handle whatever came. But tonight she was just grateful. Grateful for the journey. Grateful for the lessons. Grateful for the life she'd rebuilt from the ashes of the one that burned down. Revenge wasn't about making Gregory suffer. It wasn't about Aaliyah facing consequences. It wasn't about proving anything to anyone. Revenge was building a life so fulfilling, so complete, so entirely hers that the people who'd betrayed her became irrelevant. Footnotes in her story rather than the main plot. And by that measure, Simone had gotten her revenge. She'd won. Not by destroying them but by refusing to let them destroy her. And that was the sweetest victory of all.